Sup guys, welcome back to the channel. We are live. Just another week, another House of the Dragon after show. But before we get started, I just want to say with the events that happened yesterday, just want to say that that I think things will get better. Things will get better, and just without getting this too political. I'm not even sure what to say, but just keep your thoughts for former President Trump, and especially the family of the victim that I forgot his name. He was I think he was a captain of the firehouse or something. I forget where. Keep them in mind. Keep the injured in mind. And we just have to move forward together with this. That's basically what I wanted to say. Doesn't matter what side you're on the political aisle. This is dipshittery, and this is baloney. We can work things out together. All right. That being said, I want to bring in the chat. I want to bring in there's no one in the chat yet, so I'm just going to bring in the panel. So I'll start with we got Nas. What's up, Nas? I'll bring in Miss Martin Muses. How are you?
Oh, well, I'm doing well, and thank you for that opening thought, because I think that's in the back of all of our minds tonight. So I'm feeling extra petty about the show, but also feeling maybe a little petty about being petty when there's much bigger things going on in the world. On the other hand, we can hate on this stuff, or at least I plan to. Bad attitude.
I think you being on has been like the one saving grace. Everybody actually. This after show is pretty much a saving grace, but I don't even know if I want to. I'm not even sure I want to keep doing this. Like, this episode was just, I was bored. It was long, and it just, like, there were moments where there could have been some awesome stuff happening, and Damon pussied out. Damon's a pussy. I mean, they pussified him. I mean. Mm-hmm. I'd rather read. I have Fire and Blood right there. I'd rather just read that and not even watch the show anymore. So, but that's, I don't know. I might give one more episode. I don't know. I'd rather be playing Elden Ring right now, to be honest. Another George R. R. Martin work. Oh well. So
yeah, they've got so much good material, and they're just putting us all to sleep, which it shouldn't be. I mean, maybe make me mad. Give me some sort of an emotion, but this one gave me 5 Padmes, not 1 Padme. I just losing completely the will to watch. It's just absurd.
Yeah, that's true. By the way, what's up, Staple Ball? How you doing? And then we got, I'm going to bring in the one and only Salty Traveling Sea, sir. How are you?
I'm all right. I really, it's hard to talk about this stuff, Brian, and I think you did a good job. We did get another name of the other individual that was injured gravely yesterday. It's actually a Marine Corps veteran who's a commandant at the local Marine Reserve Center. They just dropped that news, but yeah.
So there's more than one. There was more than one victim. Then there's a second.
Well,
one
there was one person that had their life ended, and there were multiple people injured. They released the name of the second person that was injured, and it's this
did the second person succumb? Did the second person succumb to?
No, they're gravely injured, as you can imagine. So
okay.
Yeah, but I think this is just the beginning, but we're gonna get through it. But that's why we're here. God put us here for a reason, guys. This is our time. So yeah.
But yeah, Salty, thanks for being here. And then we got this guy.
Hey, yeah.
Hi.
What's up?
Not much. How you doing?
I just had a.
I heard you really enjoed this one. Like, this was the best episode ever of any show ever.
Nap. I feel recharged. The naps keep getting longer during the shows because the shows just seem to be getting longer. Yeah, I don't know.
It didn't want to end.
I feel like I'm on an island. I don't know. Are we on an island here not liking this? That's the other thing. I don't understand. But it seemed like it seemed very, very,
Ever.
very long.
Yes. And like the dialogue wasn't interesting. Like they were just either they were spouting off lore or they were spouting off things we already knew, or they were just talking at each other. Like I swear though that scene with Corliss and his what's her name, Bela or something, or something.
Bela, his daughter or his granddaughter.
She's a terrible actress.
Well, that whole just I don't want to. That whole scene confused me because Rhaenyra gave her the box with the Hand of the King pin. So was she giving it to Bela, and then Bela said, "No, I don't want to do it, so I'm going to give it to Corliss," or did she give it to her to give it to Corliss, which still doesn't make sense. So it's just like, why are we handing around the pin of the Hand of the King? Or is she too cowardly to face Corliss and say, "I need you to be Hand," even though Rhaenys just died? And then Corliss is whining about Rhaenys. It's like, yeah, you lost your wife, but you should be proud of how she went out, even though she went out like an idiot, really. But I mean, she went out on her dragon back, right? I mean,
yeah.
I don't quite understand what's happening.
It felt like it should have fabric softener commercials. Like this was literally a daytime soap opera show that they just put in a fantasy setting. And I know I've said it before, but Brian, like you just said, and Teresa and Steve, because we didn't talk about this backstage. This was this felt like everything that was laying on the cutting room floor from other episodes were put here in what should have been a launch point to redeem the rest of the season. And instead it was quite literally the worst episode so far.
I think so. I mean, I don't know, like I don't know why these episodes are so long. Like I remember, and I said this before, I remember when Game of Thrones was out, and like even season 5 and 6 I enjoyed to a degree. I was like everybody, we were all looking forward to season 8 being good. Unfortunately, it wasn't. And we were looking forward to much longer episodes, episodes like as long as like Stranger Things season 4. Remember the last 2 episodes? Remember how long that finale was? It was 2.5 hours, but it was 2.5 hours of good shit.
Shit happened, but yes. Shit happened, and it had built from the very first moment to the first episode. Every episode advanced the plot.
I started folding laundry and just walking around because I was like, is this going to end? And then in my opinion, the only character that actually says anything that makes sense, which is Jace, starts talking. It's like, okay, let's see what Jace has to say because he actually makes good points. Well, that and Otto, but Otto Otto got a better acting gig and won't be in the rest of the show. So Otto Hightower is gone, who has some of the best dialogue and delivery in the whole show, and we don't even get that anymore.
Well, you noticed it too. I noticed his absence too. I'm just like this. Yeah, I noticed. It's the show is suffering because of.
He's gone. Yeah, it's suffering greatly because he's gone. Absolutely, yes. I think that's absolutely it's suffering because he's the best actor. He delivered his lines so well, and it's even more evident he was pulling everybody along with him, in the scenes he was in, and it's very evident Otto Hightower is not around. Yes. Like, to me.
I think he will be making an appearance later on toward the end of the season because there has been some behind the scenes photographs, but he's sorely missed. They were like, my beer. I didn't think anything could be worse than episode 3, and they were like, hold my beer. It's going to get worse.
What happened in episode 3? I don't even remember.
That was when the Septa scene where she snuck into King's Landing.
Oh, yeah. And then the last episode, she was missing for half the episode because of that.
Oh, gosh.
Episode 3 was also where Bela refused to kill Christian Cole and save her grandmother. Sorry. My bad.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And then, now her grandmother is dead because of her actions.
Is that the theme of this season of television? Inaction kills people?
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, there's this awesome scene that we have Daemon sitting on top of his dragon, and they got the Brackens there, and they're like, kneel to me or burn. And I remember I'm not thinking, this is going to be just like season 7 of, Game of Thrones on the field. Daenerys is demanding the Tarleys to, demanding the Tarleys to kneel and that and stuff, and they say no, and then she burns them, and then the rest of them kneel. Awesome moment. No, he's a bitch.
Yeah, they totally taken his balls and torn them off and made them into fluffy little crochet dollies.
Teresa, correct me if I'm wrong.
Did this happen in Teresa? Did this happen in Fire and Blood and the Lore?
No.
Yeah, I feel like you were telling us they flocked to his banner at Harrenhal to come support him. So, I feel like that's what you told us. But sorry.
Yeah, and then they fought at the Battle of Burning Mill. He led them, including the Freys. See, that's another thing. Maybe when we get to that scene where Jace is trying to bring in the Freys were already there. They were already. Now, he did defeat them at the Battle of Burning Mill. Yes, because that was what, part of what that whole battle was about. But yeah, this bullshit right now, it was all stuff that they just came up with themselves because they didn't want to have Daemon doing something, apparently. They're sitting there bitching about Daemon doing something. I'm like, that's your
that's
this entire their choice.
Let's talk about Daemon. Like just starting with that, like they're like, oh, I'd rather burn, and then you see a shot of of his dragon looming over the guy behind him.
Cool.
It looked very cool, and then it cuts. He's like, oh, I need them. I don't want to burn them. I need them. I'm just like, what? Yeah. Like, what? Do you not have the budget?
Maybe it was because I fell asleep or my brain melted because I was just having trouble. But the Riverland people, was that the Brackens people that showed up and accused Daemon of killing more children?
I think it was their vassals. Teresa I think it was their vassals, right? The people under the Brackens that were complaining. I don't remember. I didn't know who these people were.
That. Well, again, this is where I get so confused because the context of anything that happened in the book with some of the sacking and all that was totally different. I think what they were trying to show was that the Willem guy, when Daemon told him you need to do things the crown can't do, that
persuade.
Yes.
I guess he got the wrong message.
We're supposed to believe he rose the Targaryen banner and then slaughtered these people after Daemon said the crown can't be seen to do this stuff. He raised their banner and then slaughtered innocents. It's like, what? Like, what? Do people just do whatever they want? Like, I don't like. It's just so weird.
Get any of that. I was like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Can we talk about Daemon going down and giving oral sex to a ghost in the castle?
That was his mom. That was his mom. What's this Oedipal shit?
Dude, I'm like, and I'm not mad at this show. Like, I don't know why I'm watching this anymore. I want to hang. But I mean, Brian, and it's not directed at you or anybody else, but it's like, I don't fucking care. Like, and I want to care. I want to have something good to watch. I was super optimistic, even though episode 1 was beyond mid. But now here we are, and I'm like, I cannot follow this string together female talking to female shit or men being talked down to by a woman who, if they only listen to that woman, I can't do it anymore because it just doesn't make any nothing makes any sense. And I'm not saying that to be sensational. I cannot and don't want to put the effort into trying to overcompensate for the bad writing and the terrible direction.
I hear you. And a lot of this stuff, the only way they can save this men suck thing and the way all the women keep talking down to the men is if they are trying to set up what's eventually going to happen, is basically that the women do suck and they fuck up everything. Like Rhaenyra is the biggest fuck up you've ever seen as a queen. So
all she's doing is crying about being queen. It's like, I'm queen and nobody listens to me and I can't do it.
I want to go fight. I want to
get on your dragon and go fight.
You can't fight. You're the queen. If I want to fight, you can't because you want to be queen. Excuse me, I got that.
It's just like, and I really hate this Vagar bullshit. That Vagar is now the Uber. It's like, yeah, he's a bit like I'm so tired of. Well, now they have the advantage. Well, what's changed? And you're telling me only 9 people. I'm sorry, 900 people died at Rook's Rest. They only lost 900 people in all of that. That's the number they gave. Christian Cole said we lost 900 people at Rook's Rest. So you lost 900 people and a dragon. There's no way it was only 900 people. She did like 5 strafing runs with 5, and then Vagar fell on the battlefield.
Yeah, and then they were all like, and then freaking Kristen Cole has PTSD because he saw like people being burned and armor and
not anymore. Not anymore. The plot doesn't need to have him do it now, so it's gone.
Aegon fell 500. Like, how high was Aegon?
Pretty high.
He fell and he blew up.
800, maybe 800 feet.
He fell and his dragon exploded, and it you know what's supposed to take care of that whole thing? He was wearing Valyrian steel armor. I don't give a fuck. He fell from the sky.
Yeah.
So does that mean Rhaenys is alive?
Blunt force trauma. I mean, his innards would be scrambled. I mean, all of his bones would be broken.
Why isn't Rhaenys alive?
Because she wasn't wearing any armor, I guess.
Like, it's just like
magical armor. Don't question it, Steve. Don't question it.
So to be fair, this wasn't necessarily a TV show error or problem, because that is basically what did end up happening to Aegon. That they fell out of the sky, both he and Rhaenys. Gosh darn it! What is her name? Rhaenys. Thank you. That they both fell from the sky, and Rhaenys burned up, and Aegon mostly burned up. So this was part George R. R. Martin F up and TV show F up.
Just have him lower. Okay. Just have him lower. That's it. Like, the problem is he's way too high. Just have him taken out lower, like they're falling, and he doesn't pull up in time or something, right? They just make it plausible. Like, just make it plausible. There's no way he survives that. Like,
I think they're counting on people not remembering things episode to episode, which is part of why we're getting this goddamn churn every episode, where people aren't watching anyway because they're on their phone, and then a week goes by and they've been on TikTok for 72 hours, so they don't even remember what the fuck they watch, and then they can just start again with some vague character that people don't even remember what they did last week.
Well, and shout out to the fact that we haven't even seen Alan and the other whole brother Adam for more than an episode. The ones that they kept introducing in episode 1 and episode 2, and they weren't there at all today.
I guess we'll have to wait till episode 7, right?
Don't worry.
I think episode 6, because at the end they introduced the whole dragon seed thing.
But don't worry, okay? The White Worm got her spy back into King's Landing again, and the blacksmith and his family couldn't get out. So I'm glad that we got to see that the blacksmith and his dying daughter and his wife are stuck in King's Landing, and that the White Worm still knows everything because she's I don't know, a communicating god.
Thanks, Steve, because this I don't want to talk about that. Thanks for bringing that up. I don't want to talk about that.
Okay, good. We're done.
What else is there to talk about? What did they say? Oh, we're gonna have what was this gonna be like? The small folk, the peasants, the commoners. Are they gonna rise up? Are they gonna start rioting? Is it gonna be like Joffrey in season 2, where they're gonna attack like the king's carriage, or they're gonna attack the queen or something?
Well, that's what it looked like from the preview. Now, that was the thing, but shout out to the fact that every bad thing the women do, they give to the men, because it was actually Alicent who ordered the gates closed right after Rook's Rest. It was not Aemond or
Why
the men.
am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised, Teresa? Oh, of course.
Yeah. I forget, why did she do that?
Because they were going out to the countryside and saying King's Landing sucks balls, we're starving here. And they didn't She didn't want to lose face and the dragon head ill omen thing.
I thought she didn't have. I thought she didn't have any power at this.
She
point.
does well in the show. She doesn't.
In the show,
but
in the
show.
book,
she
yeah.
closes the show. They give it to Amy to do.
Can I just say one thing that I literally almost picked my laptop up and threw it across the room, but I don't have money to buy another laptop. There was a scene, Christ, I don't even remember where it was, but it was literally the Thanos speech after he got the Soul Stones in Infinity Wars or Endgame, where a girl asks him, what did it cost you? And then the guy says everything, and it was literally it was almost word for word stolen.
When was this? What scene was this?
I don't even remember this scene. When was this?
It's about 3/4 of the way through this episode. And Teresa, do you remember that at all? I thought I don't make me go back and look for it. I'll go back and look for it, but it was uncanny, like the shot composition and the girl being in the back and this dude in front, and essentially it was the same vibe.
Who was in the scene?
Thanos. I don't remember these fucking characters' names because I don't care anymore. But I'll find it.
Like, was it the royalty? Was it the commoners?
Yeah, it was royalty. It was royalty. I'll see if I can find it. It was it was so obvious.
So can I also say how about I think the biggest problem I have with this whole thing right now, and I shouldn't even say the biggest problem, and tell me if you disagree. The problem, I feel like all the events right now are still floating around that one extremely stupid decision Damon would have never made, in my opinion, whether you would think he would have made it or not. So now you have everybody now doesn't trust him because he's a baby killer. Rhaenyra and him had a lover's quarrel, so they now, instead of trying to actually stabilize her reign and get her troops, she's doesn't want to talk to him because he's a bad man. And now Daemon, instead of actually being in support of her, thinks that she's beneath him and she needs to be his queen while he's king. Like, I just don't feel like that all happened naturally. I feel like it's all just because of this stupid decision that I don't feel like would have ever been made.
That made more sense than what they've presented to us, because when he came out today and said, "I'm going to be the king," I was like, where the fuck did that come from?
It came from after Lord Strong called him the king consort and he got offended or something.
Well, but no, we're supposed to believe the witch is fucking with his head, so he's now like fucking like mad with power again. Like, it's like,
I got another question. Is she even really there? Because she only seems to interact with him.
That's what some rumors are. That
I don't care if she's there.
Yeah,
I wish she'd go away.
Real. Yeah,
I wish she'd go away. That's what I wish.
I'm like, she talk like, if she's real, she talks to him like he's just another person. I'm like, he's the one in charge. Yeah. Well, yeah. He doesn't cut anybody's head off because he got dressed down by those people at the end of the episode. I'm just like, oh, where's the Daemon we all like?
No, no one would have talked to them like that, and frankly, no one would have talked to Rhaenyra like that either. I mean, that's some bullshit. And they were like, "It's because I'm a woman." It's like,
are you talking about the councilman?
Yeah, they would never have talked with her like that either. But this whole Alice Rivers thing, I'm thinking that maybe they've changed it because a lot of television-only viewer people have been saying exactly what you said, Prophet, that they think that she's a ghost, that she's not real, and that it's all in Daemon's head because you're right, she doesn't interact. And I wouldn't put it past them to change what the trajectory of her story is, because I could tell you from Fire and Blood that she's real, but the more I'm looking here, I'm like, oh, maybe that's where they're going with this. But this whole hair and hell magic thing, what she's doing to Daemon, again, that was not from the source material, so I have no idea what they're trying to do.
It's just Daemon. I originally thought they were trying to deconstruct him to make Rhaenys or whoever the hell it is look better, and everything is his fault. But it literally seems like they just don't want to do anything with Daemon in any way at all, except maybe make him look stupid so they can blame him for maybe what Rhaenys did in the book or something like that. But it's just, and I'm pretty sure it was Daemon, guys, that was the one that was talking to the witch, and the witch asked him, what did it cost you, and essentially everything. But I don't want to try and find it live.
You're probably right, but I zone out whenever they're talking because I
don't care either. And that's the thing, is I kept checking how much time was left in this episode.
Same here.
And it and again, you guys can tell, like, I am not animated. I wouldn't say I'm phoning it in, but what I am is I'm just like, how can you even dignify something that didn't even try and write? It looks nice. The costume's nice, but these characters changed even from, forget last season, but even from the last episode, their motivations. And I think it was Rhaenys especially that, like, who the fuck is this character this episode? Because she doesn't resemble what she was doing in her motivations the last episode.
Whiny.
Correct.
She's not inspiring anybody. Like, you're supposed to, and I'm supposed to be fighting for you to be queen. All you're doing is whining and accusing me of not, like, how many times are you going to accuse your council of not having her best? She keeps, it's like, that's your council. If you don't trust them, get a new, like you're not, like,
get on, then do what Steve says. Get all your goddamn dragons together and start just doing strafing runs to demoralize these positions that have been overtaken by your enemy, and then come back and you can feel good. It's like,
even if you can't take Vhagar one-on-one, or and that's another thing that really is starting to annoy me. Why do we act like we could only fight Vhagar one-on-one? Like, the only dragon that can, you have 5 of them, right? I mean, one of them you won't talk to, because the most experienced dragon rider you've decided to get into a lover's quarrel about and send him off to do bullshit. I bet you he could take out Vhagar by himself. He's the most experienced, and his dragon is fucking awesome. But you've sent him off somewhere, so you can't ever have that confrontation.
Yep.
That's good.
Yeah. And they're acting like it's not life and death. Because for one thing, Rhaenyra, those people that you keep talking down to in your council, remember, their heads are going to roll. They're going to be burned alive or whatever by Aegon and the Greens. They put their lives on the line for you. And also this whole, Daemon and I are fighting. I don't want to talk to him. When stakes are going on like this, where her own words, hundreds are dying, thousands are dying, this is not the time to be petty. And so it just seems so ridiculous. And I was going to say another word that starts with R. The fact that they were even thinking about messing around like this. People are dying. You dumbass.
Do you know what's going to happen, right? I can already see it clear as day what they're doing. So they sent a misogynist council member to Harrenhal, right? So he's going to go and bend the knee to Daemon and say, you should be ruling. And now we're gonna have a third faction, because Daemon is going to try and take the crown from Rhaenys, or from Rhaenyra.
Oh my gosh. Prediction now. Episode 8, when spoiler, King's Landing is taken, instead of Rhaenyra and Daemon taking it, with Rhaenyra at the head, they're going to have Daemon trying to take King's Landing, and then Rhaenyra is going to come flying after him like, no, it's me. You're not going to be working together.
Or some bullshit,
It's going to be the man's fault.
I mean, because that guy's never, like, she's done nothing but treat him like shit. And the word "you're a woman" has come up way too fucking much. That's your queen. Shut the fuck up. Why would you say that to her? Like, you're being an idiot. But so he's done nothing but basically say she's incapable. Then she's sending him off to communicate with Daemon. It's like he's gonna go and say the queen is unfit to rule, at least in charge. You need to be in charge. I will follow your orders. What command me, Daemon? Let's go. I swear to God, that's what's gonna happen. Like, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I feel like that's what they're setting up, is that Daemon and this dude are gonna betray her and try and take the reins from her.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
So pretty much got that locked down. Well, why don't we talk about? I know there hasn't been much of it, but that whole Aemond and Alicent and Kristen.
I'm glad you brought it up.
Jeez.
I want to ask you, Brian, real quick. The scene where they just focus on her for like 25 minutes while Amy was talking, was that supposed to be her like having inner dialogue with herself, going, "Wow, I'm a stupid idiot. What did I do?" Do you think that's what that was? Do you know what I'm talking about, Brian?
I think she's just freaking out. I think she's like, "Oh, this guy, like, oh, he betrayed my. He tried to, like, he killed. He's responsible for killing my older son, or reason my older son's like this, and she's afraid of him or something, and she's freaking out."
I watched.
Yeah,
absolutely. I watched this with Purple Valkyrie, and I stopped and I asked the same thing. I said, I don't know what this is, but it looks like she's being a whiny little bitch feeling sorry for herself because men are bad. And what Purple said to me was, well, if I was the queen and I had led when my husband, the king, was dying, and now all these assholes won't listen to me, I'd probably be seething inside too. But I want to know what Miss Martin Muses thinks about that.
I was going to say, I immediately saw it. You guys are giving them far too much credit. I saw it as them showing, once again, a woman is just sitting there and no one's listening to her. And she's just being quiet and hearing all the men talking about what's going to happen, and it's as though she doesn't even need to be there. That's what they were doing.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And that she was just like, and she was just realizing, once again, I'm just a woman and no one listens to me.
Oh, is that what it was? I thought that was supposed to be her, like, looking inward, going, I caused all this shit.
Well,
no, that's not what we're doing. It was just, let's stare at the pretty face for 25 minutes.
She's not even that pretty.
Trip brings up a very interesting point. It would have helped to have seen some of the pillaging of the Brackens, and maybe even just Jace arriving at the twins on his dragon. Yes, there's a lot of cutting back and forth, and there's a lot more telling instead of showing. Now, I like what they showed. I mean, I still like the look of the show, but you know, it would be nice. It would. I mean, I know it's expensive, but
so can I
show some action? I mean,
I agree with half the comment, because we know, like, ooh, pretty thing. Like, I mean, all Jace arriving is just like, oh, we get to see another dragon. It's like, I feel like that's what the show is getting away with. The dragons look really good. Yes. The show looks really good. Some of the acting is really good. Everything they're saying is dumb. None of it makes sense.
But
so it's like
that's it. That's what we said last week in the that's what we said last week, Steve.
Sorry to interrupt you. The pillaging of the Brackens made me think of, and I brought this up, it made me think of when they went to season 1 of Game of Thrones, when people came and told Ned Stark, he was sitting on the Iron Throne, that famous scene where they say, the mountain came and burned all of our stuff because of the fact that he attacked Jaime Lannister. Or Jaime Lannister attacked him, or there was something going on, or because they took Tyrion in custody, Lady Stark, and it made me think of that scene, and that scene was so good and so powerful. I was just captivated by the entire scene. And then he has a bad leg, and he gets up and he's basically says the mountain is to be put to death and all that. Didn't happen, but that was a great scene. And they were trying to do something similar, and I didn't get the same. I didn't get the same impact. I don't know about you. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? That scene in season 1 of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I know.
Sean Bean, great performance by Sean Bean.
Well, so again, like, I feel like they've neutered all the dragons except for Vhagar.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the only dragons to be feared is Vhagar.
Yeah.
Well, I think. What about Daemon's dragon? I can't correct.
Daemon's dragon didn't do anything. It just it's sitting on top of Harrenhal. Jace's dragon is a tiny pup, so who cares about Jace's dragon? Bela's dragon's too small. The only dragons that are worth a damn are down in the hold and don't have dragon riders. Those are the only ones that are any. And of course, Rhaenyra's dragon, which she won't get on, she just whines about not getting on. Like, they've neutered them all. They're all inconsequential except for Vhagar. That's it.
Is it fair, or I'm trying to remove myself from just the criticism I'm on screen and understand, because I was watching the names of who was directing and doing shit for this show. Are these writers and these directors literally so limited by their own life experience that they cannot copy what George R. R. Martin has done in some vague way that resembles some of the heroism or creativity or because what I'm not getting any backstabbing, sly, cool, outmaneuvering, rewarding you for paying attention, anything in the show. In this episode in particular, I could have literally left after the embroidery thing started and came back when the credits rolled, and I would have not missed anything except for maybe Jace doing something, because nothing that happened in this episode did anything. I mean, we could say maybe, Aemon and all this other stuff, but did it really? Like, nothing happened in this episode.
No, nothing happened, and it all led up to what? The fact that there's records. Hey, there's records. Look at this big room with all these scrolls in these walls.
Jace,
records.
Jace, the only
of
person
other dragon riders, of other family members. We have other family members. Wow, I don't care.
She would not have figured out if it wasn't for Jace. Jace is the only one, and guess what? Jace is a strong. Everybody. So the Targaryens are all stupid. Like that's
short for a strong, but hey, that's just
right.
me.
But it's like, but also the thing, like part of what I'm getting, in correct, like I try, like we're now 5 in, and I was hoping this isn't the case, but I feel like we're getting a lot of, well, if you would just listen to the women, everything would be fine. And it's like, I don't like thinking that, but it's like you got Alicent sitting there going, I should be in charge. They don't, and now she sits there staring at the camera for 25 minutes while Aemon makes a bunch of mistakes. And it's like, okay, and then we have Rhaenyra whining about the guys contradicting her and how she doesn't know anything and this, that, and the other, and then she, like, you know what I mean? Like, and I that may be a little bit too harsh, but I feel like that's
no, you're not being harsh. I mean, it's intentional, but what I think is very funny is the fact that they appear that they are actually giving the wrong message that they think they're giving, because the more that they make the women suck, the more that the men look better.
Trip's right. Sorry, if you're going to drive Daemon crazy, drive him crazy. Have him start lopping people's heads off, flying out and burning shit because he's gone.
But that would give him power,
right?
But Steve, that would give him power. They're humiliating Daemon now. You're hitting on something. Okay, this is about humiliating. That's why he had oral sex with his own mother in this episode, because they wanted to play this Oedipal gender studies. He's a weak little boy who wants to have sex with his mom.
Just like Aemon in that stupid episode. Yes,
twice. Two episodes.
I wanted Darth Vader. We get that. We get pale, skinny dude with a dog. I don't want.
They use that. They use that same scene twice of him curled up in bed with the old woman. It's like, and now they're doing, like, now Daemon's having sex with his mother. It's like, what is going on here? What, like?
Yeah, it's a deliberate, and that's why I said this was a very pathetic soap opera with a fantasy show veneer, written using DEI and gender studies, and that's all that it is. And this episode is so bad; it's like Batwoman bad.
I think the writers are inexperienced. I think there's clearly an agenda. They'll say, we're trying to be artistic, we're trying to tell stories differently, kind of like the way that I think Rian Johnson justified his decisions in Star Wars. I don't know, but that movie that the Jedis of Last or something, I forget what it's called.
Last stupid person.
Yes,
on an island. Yeah,
the
person on an island.
Old man fails. That's what the movie
should
be called. Old man failure, because that's all.
Jacob the Walker.
We want to subvert. expectations. We're going to subvert expectations of House of the Dragon by making it boring.
But that's what Condon said, the showrunner said in Variety, and then I'll give it to you, Steve. It was that we're going to show the cost of not listening to these women who are being ignored by the men, and the men then create the doom that the women have to clean up the mess from. That's what they said. And that's why every episode, these things are like, oh, I see you doing it, you know?
Can I propose something? Like, just, I know it's not in Fire and Blood, but wouldn't it have been more interesting if, first of all, Aegon is dead. Okay, he's just dead when he gets there. But we had that whole scene with him having his sword out and getting the knife when Christian Cole walked up on him. Wouldn't it have been more interesting if, when they got him there, they found some small knife wound on Aegon, and then they had to figure out what the hell happened, whether Aemon just, like, you know, they go to Aemon and says, why is he
Yes!
looks like he was slain with the sword. What happened?
Yes.
It's like he was, I put him out of his misery. Or something to that accord. It's like he was dying, he was in agony. I
was going to cut his armor off of him or something like that.
Or you find out, or something, you know, some sort of subterfuge, and you find out he just, you know, he murdered him or something, right? Like, or something like, other than just Aegon miraculously survived an 8,000-foot fall, and Aemon is just in charge because I guess everybody's scared of Aegar.
But you remember that scene and the menace that that they showed with Aemon, and I'm probably butchering everybody's names.
Christian Cole and
the two brothers, Aemon and Aegon, or whatever the fuck it is.
Yep.
Aegon. With Aegon standing there, putting his sword in his scabbard. So, Steve, you're hitting the nail on the head. And then this look of like, I killed my brother, which is what was inferred at the end of the episode, totally blew that chance. Totally nothing happened with it. And now here we are, where again, nothing is actually happening. Like something was built and they walked away from it. It was nothing.
Yeah. You know, if you have something in there and you just like, they find out that he actually, whether it was, you know, for mercy or he just murdered him for power, and then that's where you have a handful of people that know that he actually killed them. It wasn't the fall, he was dying, but you know, it's one of those, you know, he ended up, you know, then you don't know, did he really kill him for mercy, or did he kill him for power, or you know, or was he already dead and he was just making sure, like you know, you have you know.
That would have been. I think that would have been more interesting, to be honest. I'm with you.
Now I know that's not Fire and Blood, but like what they set up, I feel like that would have been more interesting than, well, let's like, and I think it was Alex that said it in our text group. For how great Viserys's makeup looked, Aegon's burns were low key shit.
Yeah,
they didn't look very good.
I agree with Trip, and this is what I think builds into you, Steve, which is in Brian. I put it in private chat. Trip's last comment, if you wouldn't mind pulling it up.
Is it this one?
No, it was the how do these characters become the insane Targaryens? And what I'm wondering, Steve, just to feed on what you're talking about, is it going to be Daemon's fault because he's the crazy one who brought the crazy blood into the family? So they have to completely denut Daemon.
But they're not. Yeah, they're not. And Aemon's supposed to. Aemon does not seem. He seems calculated and tactical. Aemon seems. Now it ruins it all when you put him in bed with a grandmother and he's sucking his thumb. You know, Homelander 2.0. You know, let's just get the breast milk, right? I mean, like, but like Aemon is not being portrayed as psycho.
No,
at all.
No,
he's actually making decent.
He makes
he's making
sense.
Good. Aemon's making good decisions, honestly, for himself. I don't believe Vhagar snuck out of King's Landing 1 minute.
No,
but you know, like his, you know, and then why do we take a place in like, if we only lost 900 men and we just took another castle, why have you retreated back to King's Landing? Because of the dragon? Like you're making it sound like you have the upper hand here. I'm so confused because like Rhaenyra says that they are in the strength position. And it's like, how? They just lost their army and a dragon. How are the Greens how are the Greens that have the advantage? How are they going to push an advantage? They lost the dragon and their army, and took a castle that doesn't matter from all rights and purposes. Like they made it seem like that castle, they just took it because why would anybody take Rook's Rest? Who cares? Like that's what they made it sound like. Am I wrong?
And Teresa, I'll kick it to you. I just want to make this joke because I'm dying to make it. Because you all remember what Chris Cole was doing. He was ironing in front of a woman. Chris Cole needed to come back so he could do domestic work, like
he was cleaning his sword. I thought.
Yeah, I thought he was ironing something.
No, he's
another scene where. Okay, wow, it looked like he was fucking ironing.
He was cleaning his sword. He was heating up his sword he was heating up his sword to get the blood off of it.
Oh, so he was ironing.
He was having PTSD.
Well, yeah, sort of. He was sort of ironing his sword. You're not. That's why I thought. That's what I thought the joke was, because he was ironing his sword.
I mean, just like
speaking of ironing, another Ryan Johnson reference right there.
Oh shit. Yeah. Sorry, yeah, I thought that was the joke. So I thought that was the joke. He was ironing his sword.
I'm just trying to make light, and it just I just can't with the show. Like I am so fucking bored. Like I am.
I'm honestly like I was not even looking forward to this episode. I was even considering canceling the stream. Like that's how enthusiastic I am right now.
I'm sorry. I know
it's not your fault. I just like, you know what, maybe for the good of the channel, I haven't done much, so maybe I'll keep doing this, but I don't know if I want to keep doing this
next week. Ask you guys something else too? Does it seem like a
Before
good idea?
Go on, can I?
Sorry, go ahead, Teresa.
Sorry, Teresa.
I'm sorry, Teresa.
My goodness. Hey, I'm starting to feel like Allison's here. No one's listening.
I'm sorry. You
got a wedge in here. We've been working together for 3 years.
I've been trying.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, what I was saying is that part of this goes back to what Salt was saying a second ago, where he was saying, like, do they not have the life experience of like to be able to write it well, but they don't have the craft. They're not having the craft. They don't know how to build this story. And this goes to what Prophet's saying, is that what they have going on is the reason why these battles aren't working out is because they're going out of order. I mean, there's stuff that they did in this episode that should have been done in the first episode and the third episode. And they're thinking that they can just mix and match because they don't understand craft. And that's why we're seeing it fall apart. The reason why it doesn't make sense is because it doesn't make sense. And again, if you're going to change something, you've got to have the skill to do so. And also where we were talking about with, all the stuff about Vagar this, Vagar that actually is going somewhere. And I see them trying to craft that, because that did end a little bit with what Jace was saying, but it's not that they're going to find the different noble houses. It's the bastards. That's what they've been setting up. With the dragon seeds. Yeah, the problem is that's how this episode should have ended. They were logically showing Adam Hull, Alan Hull, Ulf the White, Hammer, Hugh the Hammer, and of course we're supposed to be seeing Nettles, but they've cut her. And so the climax of this episode should have been the bastards. We need to find the bastards, because then that would make sense. But they couldn't even get that right.
But
so they don't know how to go from point A to point B.
Well, didn't they say that? Didn't they say that?
They were alluding to that at the end. I feel like that's what they were. The scroll.
No, they didn't say the bastards.
Yeah,
they did.
They were talking about other people married into other families. Okay.
Right, which also I'm glad we got there, because that's exactly was going to be my next question was, does that sound like a good idea? You're going to give the Martells a dragon?
They're not.
But you know, but I'm just saying, just like that's what they're talking about, going to the Tullys who have a half Targaryen and saying, hey, you should ally with us, and you could take one of those 2 big ass dragons down there and become a dragon rider. If you're loyal, that sounds like an incredibly bad idea to me.
I think so too.
Like you're giving a nuclear bomb to another house.
Yeah, and it's just
well,
they're going to use it to their advantage.
Example.
Sorry, go ahead, Teresa.
This is another example of them looking stupid, because, like I said, that it wasn't going to where the logical thing was. I think they think they're being clever. They're going to be like, oh, they think we're going to talk about the dragons. No, we're going to talk about something else. And then you have a stupid thing like that. Like you said, it doesn't make sense.
I mean, it's one of those like bastards. Bastards makes a lot. You bring up, you go, hey, you're a Targaryen, you're a seed. I'm gonna bring you in. I'm gonna give you title. Now you are officially. I'm gonna officially name you Targaryen. Let's go get you a dragon, right? You like, right? So it's like, that going to another royal line that that has lands and holdings and stuff, and saying, hey, you were a Targaryen, you married to a Martell, so now you're a Martell. Let's give you a dragon. It's like, well, now you're giving the Martells a dragon. That's not getting like a kid off the street and raising him and welcoming him into your family and then bringing him close and then making him a weapon for your family.
It's been a really poor way of introducing these dragon seeds, because Teresa, I saw exactly what you were referring to at the end there. Again, with this character of Rhaenyra, who she must have like 20 personalities.
Yeah.
Just in this one episode of television, you know, and wow, must have been an earthquake in Chicago. But it's so baffling, because she goes from being pissy and broody to being excited and happy with her little boy, and I'm like, in one episode,
she's like, I'm proud of you, Jace, but fuck you. But I'm proud of you. It's like, huh?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah,
like,
you're right about it being schizophrenic.
It's so weird.
And it's gotta be what Teresa is saying, where they have muddled and effed this up so much, trying to be clever by deconstructing and putting in half-ass threads in the way that we sat through Wheel of Time over and over and over again, where they're not they're just a whisper of what one moment in the book is, without any of the build up, without any of it being earned, and then plop, we're going to drop this one thread line in here. And I think we're experiencing that in this show now.
How does she know where he went? Did Baela betray his trust? Because that would be a little bit sort of interesting to maybe explore, because there's no way a Raven got back before Jace on Dragonback. So how did they know he went to the where? Like, okay, he left. How do you know where he went if Baela didn't tell you? I'm still confused about the whole Baela hand of the king thing. Well, Baela did tell. Did she? Okay. Did I miss that? I must have missed it.
Yeah, because blink and you miss it. They're expecting us to try to decode what they say, because Jace said right before he left Baela, he said, "Wait till I'm gone before you tell my mother."
Oh, you're right. But you're right. You're right. You're absolutely correct. I did forget about that. I apologize. That one's on me. I still don't.
Yeah, but there is no way in hell Jace would have done that on his own without orders from the queen.
That's what I was yelling at the TV, Teresa.
Tower.
Well, is this another one of these things that we don't understand what structure and authority actually mean? Because that seems to be happening in TV and movies here lately, is that a hierarchy and a structure and a command structure keep completely getting ignored. She is the queen. She could pull he went against her authority. All of those people at the council are going against her authority. She is the end all be all of everything. What she says should go, no matter what. Even if she says, go cut your foot off. It's like I don't want it. Well, too bad. I'll have someone cut your foot off for you. You piss me off. And it's like, yeah, that's a tyrannical leader, but she's the leader. So, but like,
it's a monarchy.
Like, nobody listens to anybody. Everybody's doing whatever the fuck they want. Rhaenyra is doing nothing and can't understand why nobody trusts her or believes she knows what she's doing. It's like, because you do nothing except for whine about how you do nothing and how you can't get on your dragon. It's like, well, get on your dragon. It's like, who's gonna stop you?
Yeah. Well, And the only time she does do something, she runs off to do that stupid thing in the sept.
Twice.
So I wouldn't trust her either.
Yeah, she runs off to go find her kid, her dead kid, and then she runs off to give herself up to Allison. It's like, you're making terrible decisions. Yeah.
And
she's proving why women shouldn't be in charge, for crying out loud. Because she's doing everything wrong.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Both of them, Allison and Rhaenyra. It's the same thing. I'm like, Jesus Christ, can you get out of the way so somebody who has a plan to fight and win this war can save your throne and your bloodline? Because nobody really seems interested in doing that. You know,
Tim. Yeah, I agree with Tim. I think it's more watchable than the Acolyte, but for reasons such as it looks a lot better. I think there is some good acting in there, but then it's one of those, when you're done looking at it and listening to what they're saying, and you try and puzzle it together what the hell is going on. You're like, it's almost more frustrating to a point because it acts like it's smarter, whereas the Acolyte is just dumb. And it's like I think there's a lot of I find myself whereas the Acolyte, I go in, I know what we're getting, trash. So I can sometimes laugh at how bad it is, right? You're supposed to have an intellectual, smart show here. They act like it's an intellectual, smart show, and it's just I don't think it is. I think
it's not.
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't really taken the pulse of it. I know how I feel, and I know how you guys seem to feel about it. But I haven't really watched anything taking the pulse of how people feel about this. So I don't know if people are digging it or not. I feel like
no one's talking about it,
but I don't know.
No one's talking about it, and I don't watch the big channels because I don't give a shit what they think. Because I think most of them are full of shit. So, but I don't hear it or see anybody talking about how great House of the Dragon is ever. I mean, ever.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Teresa, what about you? Teresa, you do some live shows and talk about these things afterwards. I mean, are you getting different feedback than maybe we're providing, or you see in chat here on the shows you do?
No, we're saying the exact same stuff. And, on Sporking, Steve Kenobi, according to Christy and people in my chat, yeah, they're knocking all over it. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's silly. It's, maybe we're crapping a little too much on it, because I think that sometimes people think we're being a little bit of a negative Nancy, but it's like, well, we have to be honest. And just because, some people say that they like it, it's not against the law to say that you don't like it. But, Mike Crab does not like it. But we're book readers. So that's the other thing. We're book readers, but we also have brains. Oh gosh, that might sound unkind. I'm not saying the other people don't have brains, because if you are genuinely enjoying it, you're genuinely enjoying it. But point A does not go to point B. And a lot of the things that people criticize in The Acolyte, and the same crap is happening in House of the Dragon. For some reason, they're giving a pass on House of the Dragon that they're not giving to Marvel, that they're not giving to Disney, which makes me a little bit sus.
It's the same with Picard season 3 and the other new shows. It's the same crap. That's why I've stopped. That's why I've stopped listening to a lot of people. But
production value is a big part. Sorry, go ahead.
Other than that, though, I don't know if I'm going to keep doing this. I mean, I'll think about it over the week, but I'm not sure I want to keep doing this. I mean, I appreciate you guys being here. I love. This is the best part of the night, but I don't know if I want to keep doing House of the Dragon. Like,
I get it.
It's becoming frustrating. It's becoming boring. I'd rather just read. I would just rather read Fire and Blood and be done with it.
I agree.
But I need to wrap this up. So so guys, anything you guys want to plug? We'll start with Teresa.
Well, I usually have a Fire and Blood video that goes along with the episode the night that it airs. However, because of circumstances that happened in our country, I am behind on this, but it will be coming hopefully tomorrow. Also, I did do a very big stream with Steve Kenobi guesting, where we went through what George R.R. Martin had to say about dragons and dragon lore, and where I was given some pretty damn big shade about a lot of what they're doing in House of the Dragon. And he even called it out a little bit by name. He said, dragons are not supposed to go to the Eyrie. They're not supposed to. They said, otherwise dragons would be all over the place. So if you want to see more of that, that was a live stream on Saturday. Also, scheduled for this Tuesday. I will definitely be telling you more on Twitter, but Jonathan from theonering.com, not theonering.net, will be the next guest on Pub Crawl. So if you like talking Tolkien, that's coming up. And as always, I've got a lot of little things in my back pocket, and you'll see me around.
Drugs. She has a lot of drugs in her back pocket. Yeah.
I'll be there.
Actually, I do. I've got kitty cat Valium. My cat's on Valium now.
Oh.
Is that what the kids are calling it now? Okay, Teresa.
Unfortunately, because people are like, are you going to sample it? It's like, it's for a cat. The dose is not big enough.
What about
take all of it?
What about you, Salty? What's going on with you? Anything you want to plug?
Nothing. God bless America, and God protect President Trump. That's all I got.
Amen to that. How about you, Steve?
I reiterate what you guys said about that. I actually, I had all night to sort of stew over the whole assassination thing, how our media is covering it, and I think it's despicable. And I think what you said, to start, we're all in this together. We all should have each other's back. And, it's one of those things we don't give, and rightfully so. I think probably the most presidential thing Joe Biden has done here were his first few statements about this and not condoning the violence. That was short-lived, but, there should be no place in this. It's been said a few places. This is the culture we've been fostering. Unfortunately, we have a bunch of young people that are confused, brought up on hate for people that they don't even understand or know why they hate. And I don't know how we're gonna deprogram all that out of these people, these poor young people. But we gotta do it together, and that's the only way forward. So I like what you had to say. I'll have acolyte stuff. I may do a House of the Dragon thing. House of the Dragon is just frustrating for me right now. I have some things I want to do for Sanderson, and I think I'm going to start a Dresden thing because I started reading Dresden Files again. But
oh, dude, awesome!
Nice.
So I know we were talking about doing a Dresden thing. So and it's going to push me back. So
I haven't read beyond chapter 1 of book 2.
Yeah, well, it's
but book two sounds like it's even better than book 1.
They're all good. Like they're all.
I want to plug.
I'm a huge Dresden fan, so sorry. Go ahead.
No, I want to plug the Black Company book number 1. Articus, who's in a lot of our chats, read book 1, and he totally loved it. He's on to book 2. So if you're looking for something to read because entertainment sucks, check out the Black Company book 1 by Glenn Cook. You won't regret it.
Okay, what's it called again? Black Company.
Black Company. The Black Company. Glenn Cook. Yep.
And Tim is right. Cobra Kai.
Oh, that's Cobra right. That is coming back.
Yeah.
Cobra Kai is next week. I actually watched through all 5 seasons. It still holds up. It's still a lot of fun. And the guys, you watch interview with the guys that run that show. They are fans of the Karate Kid and that whole lore. They're being very smart about it. It's going to be 15 episodes, 3 parts, because they felt like they had 5 parts to tell to end the story. So the last season is 15 episodes in 3 5-part sessions. So I think I have a ton of respect for those guys. Cobra Kai is one of the best shows on TV. It's just fun and it's just fun and good.
Like I'll say this. I said this before. I say this again. I watched season 1, episode 1. I was just like, you know what? I'll check this out. I saw the Karate Kid years ago. I watched it. I was immediately invested in Johnny. And I watched the entire. I binged the entire first season, like within a single setting.
Well, it's easy to watch. It's fast to watch. It doesn't feel long or short. Most of the time you're wanting more. I binged all 5 episodes in a day and a half.
Wow.
Or all 5 seasons in a day and a half. Because it just, if you got nothing going on, those episodes just fucking roll. So,
between that coming to an end and Stranger Things coming to an end, I mean, there's not a whole lot of shows to look forward to.
Well,
Better Call Saul's ended, and
got to get Millie Bobby Brown on set to finish Stranger Things. But other than that,
Oh, was she holding it up?
It's delayed again. She keeps going to Disneyland or some shit to to halt production.
You're
She's getting railed by her husband.
I'm pretty no. I know there was a delay because she decided to go take a vacation during shooting.
I forget who's she married to.
I don't know, but she made that shitty movie Damsel.
Oh,
so her stock dipped a little bit for me. So yeah.
Well, you're right about one thing, Salty. There is the weather's getting kind of bad. There's lightning and thunder here in Chicago. So yeah. So you're right. You're right.
I heard that. I thought it was a Queen reference. I thought you were going to start doing Galileo.
Figaro, Magnifico. Oh, okay, I'm not going there. I'm not going there.
Gosh, man. Yeah.
I'm not going to go there.
Yeah. Duck and cover.
Yeah. For summer, it's like I usually go on a lot of walks, and I don't like to walk in lightning storms for obvious reasons. There's one time I got hit.
That's probably why.
So, but for me, I might do a stream this week. I don't know. I haven't scheduled a Chilporio, so I might just maybe I'll do a Porio cast. I don't know. I want to watch Gladiator this week.
Dude, I do too.
I got lots to say about that fucking.
I want to because of the stupid trailer of Gladiator 2. I want to watch. I want to watch original Gladiator. I don't think I've watched it in like over 15 years.
I listened to the soundtrack. I listened to the soundtrack while I was doing some work writing. Dude, it's so good. It's so much better than I'm gonna get just whatever bullshit that was in the second one.
Pedro Pascal sucks. I hate him.
Fuck him.
I mean,
sorry, that was strong words.
Well, I mean, he was awesome in Game of Thrones. He was awesome as the Viper. If you, I mean, you raped her, you murdered her, you killed her children. Yeah, great. Then he gets then he gets his head blown up like a blueberry, basically.
I need to just make the whole premise of Gladiator 2. Fuck that movie. It shits all over the original. So I have lots to say about that. I should reaction.
I'll send you the article that I found. I think it was Hollywood Reporter. They've started to attack people for not liking the fact they made a sequel, and it's exactly what you
just
think.
make a sequel 100 years in the future, so you don't have to.
So is Denzel American Gangster? So Denzel's the American gangster in that movie, basically.
No, he's what's
Malcolm X.
Malcolm X. What's his name from Training Day?
And he's Training Day too. Okay.
Yeah. What's his name?
I gotta watch that again. That's another movie.
King Kong, they got shit on me, motherfucker. And then
I'm gonna put cases on all you. I'm putting cases on all you Centurions. That's
my God.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I do want to watch Gladiator, like do maybe a watch party or something like that.
That'd be fun, dude. That'd be fun.
Reading wise, I have my Kindle here. I'm considering need to finish the book I'm reading, the one about the angels and the Black Death and the night and the girl. And the girl is somehow connected to the angels and all that, the war in heaven. And the war in heaven is turning Earth into hell, basically. There's monsters. It's like Berserk, if you're familiar with Berserk.
Yeah, dude.
Like that. It's something like that. Need to finish it. I haven't been reading a whole lot. And then I'm probably going to start up Lord of Chaos again based on the stream I did with Steve a couple days ago. Kind of maybe makes me want to read it now. So
sparked your passion. Okay.
Yeah, sometimes it's weird. It's weird how sometimes you need the external kick in the butt or external thing that gets you interested. Reason why I want to watch Gladiator is because of that terrible trailer. And it was the same reason why I played the original Last of Us was because of the whole Last of Us Part 2 controversy and all that. So it's weird what interests me right now. But I'm gonna play some Elden Ring right now, so I'm gonna end it right here. So guys, thanks for doing this. Teresa, thank you for once again being our lore expert here, because I haven't read these in a long time, or I haven't even read Fire and Blood. So Steve, just being your negative, your negative self, and Salty being salty and all that. So
I'm a negative Nancy. What can
negative
I say?
Nancy. There you go. So all right, guys, peace.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.